And this is the interesting stat that I took from Fangraphs as well. And you guys can look at all these stats yourself too. Go on fangraphs.com and they'll tell you the details of every stat that you could probably think of. It has a lot of stats. I mean, you can see this being used in the A's game as well when they have these interesting stats. Most of this is coming from Fangraphs. It is legit with all the statistics that you can even think of. Like literally, like, okay, what's their average with a 3-0 count or a 2-1 count, whatever you could think of. It basically has all of that there, and it also does pitching as well, so you can see really into detail how players are doing. So and stats don't lie. I mean, this game has changed over the years where no one looked at stats. They just looked at literally home runs, ribbies, ERA, strikeouts, and those were the main ones. But now there's these advanced stats like on base percentage, FIP. What else? There's just the strikeout rating per 9 innings. Like it's nothing. None of that was used back then as much, but now it's being used into a whole nother way. And these teams are getting better. And I guess that's why people use the juice ball thing, because I guess with the advanced stats that they have against these hitters, I guess it's harder to hit a baseball now because a lot of people are cranking up the high 90s for relievers. They got that adjustment. So it's a lot of things that are switching off. But the interesting stat I got from Matt Olson, however, was the medium leverage situation of his stats hitting and the high leverage situation for him. Now, medium leverage being, okay, so it's a game where it can benefit a lot for the team, I guess. I mean, it's a really biased statistic, but he does. I'm just using it because it's pretty impressive looking at it. Medium leverage, I guess, with people on base, he hits .312 with an average, 16 home runs, and 42 RBIs. And high leverage, I know, is the amount of leverage in a game where it's a close game or you need to get back the lead. And that's, I guess, I'm assuming that's high leverage. I mean, I got to look into it. I didn't really look into it. Should have. But he hits .350 as an average, 4 home runs, and 20 ribbies. So he hits good under pressure, basically, is what I'm saying. Low leverage, he doesn't hit as well. But high leverage and medium leverage, he is hitting a lot better. And this is a guy, I mean, this is probably should be called the Matt Olson show. I mean, I can rave about him all you want because the A's had a losing record without him and now immediately are one of the top teams in the MLB and slowly got that recognition. So we all see that going on. So that's the player recognition for this week. Matt Olson, Oli, whatever you want to call him, Matt Oli. This kid is the real deal. I think he's 24, 25, one of those two. He was born in 89, I think. 89. In 94, if I remember, 94, I think he was born. So he's pretty young, basically. So I guess another person I want to talk about, I mean, this A's team has a lot of guys that were expected to be bust or not helpful and really turning things around. The one person that I want to give props to is Homer Bailey. Now, Homer Bailey has been one of those pitchers that came in with literally one of those situations, little to no risk acquiring him. Like a lot of people were saying, you know what, if he works, good for us. We got a good trade. We got a steal, basically. If it doesn't work, you can just let him go. I mean, he's literally getting paid less than $1 million with the Oakland Athletics because we all remember Los Angeles is paying most of his salary when he was traded from the Reds to Los Angeles. And we all remember he got released by Los Angeles, literally not even getting a start in L.A., immediately switched to Kansas City and got signed from there as a free agent in a minor league contract. Then the A's switched him out for I think it was Kevin Morrell and Dairon Blanco. I think if I'm not mistaken, or I think Morrell was acquired for for Diekman. I forgot, but one of those two were acquired for Kevin Morrell and Dairon Blanco. And then I remember another pitcher was there, but he has pitched incredibly well. 4.21 ERA, 3.77 FIP, 65 strikeouts, 15 walks, 9 homers, which is pretty concerning, but still 6-2 record with the 68 innings pitched. Now, he was acquired in July 14th, and he had a really rough month of July. I mean, everyone looked at the Homer Bailey thing, and he was really roughed up early. Houston, remember that game? He allowed in 2 innings, he allowed 9 runs. So it was pretty half and half type feeling of acquiring Bailey and keeping him in the starting rotation. But we all remember at that point, Luzardo wasn't in the picture, Puck wasn't in the picture, and then Sean Manaea wasn't in the picture. And we were still trying to acquire people. And we acquired Bailey before we did with Tanner Roark. So it was an experimentation with every pitcher that we could think of. And Montas was Montas suspended yet? I think he was barely getting suspended, if I remember correctly. But so we had all that. So we had to acquire somebody. And then Homer Bailey came in and really settled things down. September and October had a way better month, 3.86 ERA and 35 innings pitched. And then recently in August, 18.2 innings pitched, has a 1.45 ERA. And he has been lights out in the month of September. Really, really pitching well in September. So what can the A's expect out of Homer Bailey? Is he going to be someone that you can rely on in the postseason? Who knows? You know, and we look at the home stat. He pitches way better at home than when he does away. So this might be a Trevor Cahill type situation. I mean, if you do make an advance in the playoffs, he is feeling his split finger very well. Really throws a good split finger. Has a really, really good feeling for that. Can throw a sinker every now and then. The fastball is still there, 94, 93 mile per hour fastball. Has good command, doesn't really walk too much people. 15 walks and 68 innings pitched. I mean, that's not a high walk rate at all. So really, really, really thrilled to have Homer Bailey on this team. And it looks like it worked well for the Oakland Athletics, as a lot of people were concerned. Acquiring Homer Bailey with his track record of injuries and not pitching well when he was healthy for the last 3 years is slowly really fixing his resume. And who knows? Maybe Homer Bailey gets re-signed after the offseason, gets another chance in Oakland, and has an outstanding year. I mean, he likes the ball club. I mean, a lot of people love the ball club coming into Oakland. Tanner Roark has mentioned that plenty of times, that this team is one of the best teams he's ever played for. He gets along with everybody, really treats them well. It's a family-based team. So Homer Bailey really likes it here. He looks comfortable here too. A lot of good veteran pieces in the rotation. But we know we have Luzardo coming in next year for the rotation. Puck coming in the year in the rotation. Jarrell Cotton is knocking on the door. Mengden hopefully is still going to be here, because there is a situation with Mengden not being on the roster after the the Rule 5 draft happens, because I don't know. I mean, they have to take out somebody from the 40-man roster spot, so he's in jeopardy of that, and so is Paul Blackburn. Sean Manaea is still a lock-in. Fires is still under contract. So it's going to be a lot of things going on for the roster spot. And who knows? Homer Bailey might get a better contract for another team. And, I mean, look at what happened with Trevor Cahill. We're expected to re-sign him, and out of nowhere gets this big deal with the Los Angeles Angels and then signs over there. And the A's don't want to compete with that money, honestly. But it seems like the A's keep getting lucky in acquiring these veteran pitchers that a lot of people say are done and then end up having great seasons. Same could be said with Brett Anderson. A lot of people knocking on him for being injury prone basically all his career. Re-signed him last year to a major league contract. A lot of people were expecting him to come from a minor league contract, but has really answered well with the major league contract, has performed well. And there's this little new way how Bob Melvin's using Brett Anderson, which is pretty interesting. When they're using him for 5 innings and then immediately bringing either Jesus Luzardo or AJ Puck to finish the game for them, that might be a good way to use him. But with the injury of Blake Treinen, that may not be the case, because maybe Jesus Luzardo is going to be used way more often or something. And AJ Puck is going to be used differently as well. But Brett Anderson, definitely trust him at Oakland, because he does pitch way better in Oakland than what he does away. So who knows? So this is going to be a pretty interesting postseason run for the Oakland Athletics. And another person I want to give praise to, J.B. Wendelken. A lot of people gave up on him early on when he started being a little shaky, and then they demoted him, and then he started pitching not as great as expected in Las Vegas. But he really, really, really has pitched amazingly well with the Oakland Athletics. Yesterday enjoyed a day off, so today he's expected to come in at some point in the series, because when he does come in, he throws for more than 1 inning, so he's a guy that can go multiple innings. So that is truly valuable, especially when you're losing Blake Treinen. Sorry I keep mentioning him, but he was just, as much as people knock out Blake Treinen, he was asked a lot last season, and you cannot take out the ability. I mean, he is able to do it, but who knows? Maybe that affected him this season, and who knows? But Wendelken posting a 3.66 ERA, 2.93 FIP, 34 strikeouts, and 32 innings pitched. And since being called up, has had scoreless, back-to-back scoreless outings. Hasn't been scored on since coming back up. 5.1 innings pitched and 4 strikeouts, 1 hit, 2 walks. So a lot of people can say that's a small sample size, but Wendelken has done great. Recently with the Kansas City Royals in a game where he couldn't let them score because they would get the lead in an extra innings game, had the bases loaded, did not let it go, a run, and immediately striked out a batter to really close out and leave the bases loaded, and really, really got out of that jam. And Wendelken has been impressive. And we all remember we acquired him in that Brett Lawrie trade. Brett Lawrie, remember that energetic bunny that we had in third base, and then got switched to second base when we acquired Danny Valencia. And we also acquired Zach Irwin, who's enjoyed a good season in Double-A as well. 3.22 ERA, 3.28 FIP in Double-A. And the strikeouts have been incredible. 68 strikeouts and 58 innings pitched. So who knows? Maybe he's going to be in question for Triple-A, and who he could probably make this Brett Lawrie trade look like it is going to be a steal, because Wendelken's a free agent until 2025. So we are going to use Wendelken immediately, and he has a good amount of options left. So it's really impressive to see what the Oakland Athletics can have up their sleeves. A lot of people don't give them credit for really being this team that has a lot of things working for them, and everything that we do seems to be working. The one thing that we probably do need to get better on is acquiring people through the free agency and really making noise like that. Because when we do give an extension, or when we do go for a free agent that's for big-time money, it never works out. Billy Butler is one of those examples that didn't work out. Chris Davis so far isn't working out with the extension. So who knows? This is probably why Billy Beane doesn't give out all this stuff, and maybe it's worth taking the risk, because eventually maybe the luck will run out for them not getting good luck with that. But this is just going to little by little change on its own. So the Oakland Athletics ready for the postseason next week. Next week is going to be an interesting week. Next week is going to be a better idea how good the A's are going to be in the postseason, or what spot they're going to get in the wild card, how good Tampa is going to be, or how good Cleveland's going to be. They are both tied with the same record, so we'll see what's up with that. But the Oakland Athletics are straight up chilling right now. And with the